Hello everybody, and welcome to a Minecraft tutorial with Dome Gaming. Today we will be looking at the AFK fish farm, and more specifically we'll be looking at how to use the AFK fish farm. The reason I'm making this video is there are a lot of good videos on how to build the AFK fish farm. However, in the majority of those videos that I have seen, it is not made clear how to actually use it, where you need to stand, and where you need to cast your fishing rod. In other words, where you need to put your cursor. And that's a problem. Just like how I fell down, also a problem. So basically, what you're going to need for this video is an AFK fishing farm. And I have a video linked below from xisumavoid on how to build one. And his video is great, so I'm not gonna bother actually showing you how to build it. It's pretty simple. It's a chest with a hopper, fence post, water coming out of the fence post with a 1 block down indentation right there, and then a note block, a block above that, then you put your iron trapdoor and your heavy weighted pressure plate, and you will want a space above the water. That will increase your chances of catching fish, especially when it's raining. And you technically don't have to have a block above the note block, but for the way we're doing this tutorial, it's definitely much better. The last thing you will need is a fishing rod, and you're going to want to have one with Luck of the Sea 3, Unbreaking 3, Lure 3, and Mending 1. And if you don't have a fishing rod with all of those, or even any of those, you can still get started. You'll end up getting the XP and the fishing rod drops eventually to be able to get to one of these. And once you have one with Mending, you're pretty much good to go. However, lore will make your AFK fishing farm much more effective, and Luck of the Sea will give you better items such as enchanted books and saddles. So, now to how do you actually use this? So, once you've got your auto clicker set up, which I have a link in the description below as well for the auto clicker I've been using. It's very simple, works well. And xisumavoid has his own auto clicker that's in his video, so if you end up going and watching his video on how to build it, he's got a auto clicker that also works very well. So basically what you're going to want to do is center up on your AFK fishing farm, specifically onto the fence post. And you're going to want to get really as close to the AFK fishing farm as possible. So this right here is about close enough. Next thing you're going to want to do is aim up to right here in this region. So you'll notice I'll stay pretty centered with the fence post, and then you can see right here in the trapdoor that center area. And you're not going to go more than halfway up on the block that you have above your note block. And you'll notice the other YouTubers typically aim more like in this area, but I found that that doesn't work very well. And that if you are going to use that, you have to stand in literally the exact perfect spot, and it's very like specific where you have to aim. Like you can be off by a few pixels, and it will throw the whole thing off. And this method that I'm showing is much more generous. You can aim around a little bit more, and you'll get it. And it's pretty much one of those you can just walk up and do it. So the first thing is just try and get nice and close, and the next thing you'll aim up here, and then you can start your auto clicker. So I'm just going to aim right about there. You can see it casts. So you can see right there, it casts right on the first try. And right after it casts, once it caught something, it reset. And so worked good right there. So, and I'm actually going to run it for a little longer, and I'm going to turn the Minecraft volume down some more and just run it. So you can see right there, as soon as I put the fishing rod in my hand with the clicker going, it immediately casts and it's not an issue. And then as soon as I allow it to catch something, it automatically resets the fishing farm and you're good to go. And you can see each time the trapdoor comes down and it resets, you're good to go. And this is nice because it allows you to aim really anywhere within this entire area. So sometimes you can see it takes a little longer than others, but you can see right there, I got this enchanted book and it's got lure 2 on it. So like I said, if you don't have a great fishing rod, you'll either get books that you can use or you'll get fishing rods to drop. So basically why this works is there's a couple things that need to happen for your AFK fish farm to work. With an auto clicker, if it's actually clicking at at this speed where you're clicking, multiple times a second. And so where if you're clicking like this fast, which is how fast you're going to be clicking with an auto clicker most likely. So the first thing that needs to happen is when you cast, your bobber has to hit the very top of the water so that it can instantly push the pressure plate down. If it takes too long to press the pressure plate down, excuse me, what will happen is you will actually bring the fishing rod back to you before it can activate this AFK fishing farm successfully. So that's the first thing. The next thing is that it has to get stuck on the fence post. If it goes past it or through it, it will also end up making your fish farm not work successfully. And the last thing is it has to be after you've successfully done it the first time and recovered it, it has to be able to correctly reset the fishing farm. So essentially what will happen is a lot of times when I was trying to figure this out and I was doing what the YouTubers were doing is I was not standing in quite the right spot. So if I was aimed right here, it would go through or it wouldn't even cast in the first place, or it would cast like it did just now, but it would take too long to activate the trapdoor. And with that happening, I would have to set my auto clicker to like 500 milliseconds, which meant sometimes it wasn't pulling the reel back up in time. So I found this to be the easiest method was to just stand really as close as possible and then aim right up here and start the auto clicker, and we'll see if it gives me any issues. And there we go. So you can see it takes longer than other times for the fishing farm to actually work, but as you can see, it's working in this positioning. Ow. So as you can see, I've set mine set up with multiple hoppers as I usually run this like overnight. And if you run it like for that long, 8 hours or however long, you'll fill up your inventory and all these chests. And so it's definitely good to have all those extra chests underneath. The last tip I have is that if you have your fishing rod with mending, you're going to want to get rid of anything else in your inventory that has mending, such as armor. If you've got any tools, I've got a diamond sword with mending and diamond pick with mending. You're going to want to take those out of your inventory because even if like this armor is not damaged right now, it can still take your mending points away. So, and typically the other thing is you won't need to worry about food when you're doing this because if you're just standing in one place casting, you actually are not going to eat food. So if that's something you're worried about, like, oh, if I run this overnight, will my guy end up having a half heart because he's hungry? He won't. You'll be just fine. So the reason why I had some hearts is I've gone up and down the ladder and been moving around. But if you're just standing there, just fishing, you will be just fine. So like I said, if you don't know how to build the AFK fish farm or you're having any issues building it, go ahead and watch xisumavoid's video that I have linked below, and you can give the 2 different auto clickers a try and see which one works better for you and your setup. and hopefully this works well for you. It's worked great for me. That armor you saw has mending. All of my armor has mending, those tools, and I have several other mending books. And to me, that's the biggest advantage as well. As you can see, I'm at level 96 right now, despite having enchanted a bunch of items. And so I think the fishing farm is really great, and you'll never run out of food either. So I hope that this tutorial has been helpful for you. If you liked it, please like and share it with your friends, and subscribe for more tutorials and gameplay videos of both Minecraft and other games. And thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.